आज के इस वीडियो में हम करेक्टरिस्टिक्स पढ़ेंगे क्लासरूम ऑब्जर्वेशंस की खसूसियात। इफेक्टिव असेसमेंट ऑफ स्टूडेंट लर्निंग बिगिंस विद एजुकेशनल गोल्स। एक जो मुतासिर असेसमेंट है किसी भी स्टूडेंट की लर्निंग की, वो कब स्टार्ट होती है? वो तालीमी मकासद से स्टार्ट होती है, एजुकेशनल गोल से स्टार्ट होती है। असेसमेंट इज़ नॉट एंड इन इटसेल्फ। असेसमेंट जो है उसका कोई अख्ताम नहीं है अपने आप में, बट ए व्हीकल फॉर एजुकेशनल इम्प्रूवमेंट। लेकिन ये एक गाड़ी है जिसके थ्रू हम एजुकेशन को, तालीम को बेहतर कर सकते हैं। इट्स इफेक्टिव प्रैक्टिस then begins with and enacts a vision of kinds of learning we most value for students and strive to help them achieve. Educational values goals should drive not only what we choose to assess, but also how we do so. Where questions about educational mission and values are skipped over, assessment threaten to be an exercise in measuring what is easy, rather than a process of improving what we really care about. Assessment is most effective when it reflects an understanding of learning as multidimensional, integrated, and revealed in performance over time. Learning is a complex process. Learning एक पेचीदा तरीकाकार है. It entails not only what students know, but what they can do with what they know. It involves not only knowledge and abilities, but values, attitudes, and habits of mind that affect both academic success and performance beyond the classroom. Assessment should reflect these understandings by employing a diverse array of methods, including those that call for actual performance, using them over time so as to reveal change, growth, and increasing degrees of integration. Such an approach aims for a more complete and accurate picture of learning, and therefore firm base for improving our students' educational experience. Assessment works best when it has a clear, explicitly stated purposes. Assessment is a local-oriented process. It entails comparing educational performance with educational purpose and expectations. Those derived from the education institution's mission, from factually intentions in program and course design, and from knowledge of students' own goals. Where program purposes lack specificity or agreement, assessment as a process pushes a campus towards clarity about where to aim and what standards to apply. Assessment also attentions to where and how program goals will be taught and learned. Clear, shared, implementable goals are the cornerstone for assessment that is focused and useful. Assessment requires attention to outcomes, but also and equally to experience that lead to those outcomes. Information about the outcomes is of high importance. Where students end up matters greatly, but to improve outcomes, we need to know about student experience along the way, but the curricula, teaching, and kind of student effort that lead to particular outcomes. Assessment can help us understand which student learn best under what conditions. With such knowledge comes the capacity to improve the whole of their learning. Assessment works best when it is ongoing, not episodic. Assessment is a process whose power is cumulative Though isolated, one-shot assessment can be better than none. Improvement is best fostered when assessment entails a linked series of activities undertaken over time. This may mean tracking the process of individual students or of cohorts of students. It may mean collecting the same examples of student performance or using the same instrument semester after semester. The point is to monitor progress towards intended goals in a separate of continuous improvement. Along the way, the assessment process itself should be evaluated and refined in light of emerging insights. Assessment is effective when representatives from across the educational community are involved. Student education is a campus-wide liability, and assessment is a way of acting out that responsibility. Thus, while assessment attempts may start small, the aim over time is to involve people from across the educational community. Factually plays an important role, but assessment questions cannot be fully addressed without participation by educators, librarians, administrators, and students. Assessment may also involve individuals from beyond the campus, alumni, trustees, employers, whose experience can enrich the sense of appropriate aims and standards for learning. Thus, understood assessment is not a task for small groups of experts, but a collaborative activity. Its aim is wider, better informed attention to student learning by all parties with a stake in its improvement. Through effective assessment, educators meet responsibility to students and to public. There is a compelling public stake in education. As educator, we have a responsibility to the public that support or depend on us to provide information about the ways in which our students meet goals and expectations. But that responsibility goes beyond the reporting of such information. Our deeper obligation to ourselves, our students, and society is to improve. Those to whom educators are accountable have a corresponding obligation to support such attempts to improvement. American Association of Higher Education,